Welcome back. As a country, Canadians are a welcoming bunch. When people are in distress anywhere in the world, we help, often opening our borders, taking in those who are desperate for a new and safer life. Every year, more than 10,000 refugees resettle in Canada. But sometimes getting here is no easy task. Just ask Neha, the victim of a violent crime, her family persecuted for their beliefs. She needed help if there was any hope of fleeing her homeland and ultimately saving Neha. Here is Paula Todd with the inside story of a daring mission and the unconventional leader who made it happen.
This man is heading out on a perilous mission. A mission to rescue Christians in jeopardy overseas and bring them to safety in Canada.
I prefer to die doing my duty with a clear conscience than to live the rest of my life knowing that somebody needed help and I didn't help her.
Majed El Shafie is the founder of the human rights organization One Free World International. Tonight, Majed's crusade has brought him to Islamabad, Pakistan. Under the cover of darkness, he's off to visit a family in hiding and under threat of death because of their religious beliefs.
And how long have they been underground?
3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
How are they doing?
We are providing them with water and food and shelter, clothing. There is no school. There is no going outside. There is no celebrating birthdays. There is no going to the mass every Sunday morning. There is no life.
Down these stairs, deep below ground, exists a dingy basement apartment.
Right now we are just going to see where the family is hiding.
A safe house for a family of 7, one that's endured a horrifying ordeal.
How's everybody?
Especially this young girl, Neha, abducted and brutally raped when she was a toddler by a Muslim extremist.
The little girl, 2 years and a half, get raped because her father refused to convert to Islam.
A horrifying story of persecution that Neha's father, Munir Masih, first relayed to Majed when they met back in 2007.
I saw him raping her, and when he saw me, he left her unconscious, bleeding, and ran away.
Now they are trying to threaten you and your family as well.
They are after our lives, and they wanted to kill us. We are under threat. At any time we can be killed. We can be caught by them.
These scars reveal the series of operations Neha has endured to try to repair the damage.
She went through 5 surgeries. Down below, she cannot go to the washroom anymore. She cannot have babies anymore.
The family went public to seek justice for Neha's attack, further enraging extremists. The rapist was eventually captured and sentenced to life in prison, but the threats continued.
Have there been real threats against them?
That's correct.
And the fear is that they will be killed?
Yes, that's correct.
We are taking measures to stop these kind of incidents. It is a very sad story.
Sahib Zada Khan is Pakistan's Consul General in Toronto.
You see, this particular family, where they come from, the villages are very poor. And there is lack of education. And therefore, these powerful people in those villages, they somehow or the other make sure that these poor people cannot reach to the law.
So why didn't you bring the weight of your government and your law enforcement to stop those criminals and to make the Masih family safe?
Ma'am, that was also tried. It was not possible.
So what does it say about your government's ability to protect its citizens?
This is a country which is at war with religious extremism. These religious extremists are not just killing minorities, they are killing our way of life.
To the outside world, Pakistan appears to be a country out of control, gripped by sectarian violence and suicide bombings. An endless cycle of violence perpetrated by religious extremists who even took the life of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto in 2007. And among the targets, Christians. They make up a small minority in this Islamic country, and attacks against them have been on the rise in recent years since Pakistan became a U.S. ally in the so-called War on Terror. In the summer of 2009, 8 people were killed in anti-Christian riots in the province of Punjab. Majed was there soon after to collect evidence of the atrocities.
This one of the victims, this was his clothes that was basically burned in the attack. He and his family was burned alive. And you can see his business cards that he had in his pocket at this time. What's the name of this area?
It's that kind of religious terrorism that led Majed, accompanied by a cameraman, to travel to Pakistan for the first time in 2007. Meeting not only with Neha's family,
I was live here in this area,
but traveling to shanty towns, meeting with other Christians who Majed believes are at risk.
You have everything, you are satisfied here? There are around 100 Christian families here. They are living in a very poor condition. They have no food. They have no clean water. They live, there is no education for the kids. There is no health care. And all of this just because they are Christians. How many Bibles?
Majed has taken up their cause because he says he too has been a victim of religious persecution. Raised a Muslim in Egypt, he converted to Christianity at 18 and promptly started an underground movement there.
I worked underground to help to bring equal rights to the minorities in Egypt.
What happened after you formed your underground movement?
That's when I was arrested.
According to Majed, he was arrested for agitating for Christian rights and received these scars after being tortured while in custody.
They had a knife, it's called mangal. It's a sharp, very sharp knife from inside and outside, like question mark. And he made cut to the back of my left shoulder, to the bones. And he put salt and lemon in the open wound. I lost my conscience from the pain. I spent 3 months in the hospital.
Within a year, he fled Egypt and found his way to Canada in 2002. 2 years later, he started One Free World International with the goal of helping religious minorities in danger. In recent years, Neha's case became the focus of his work, even prompting him to make a promise to the little girl.
I give her my word and my promise that I will get her out of there to Canada.
And today, he's getting closer to delivering on that promise. In his hands, Pakistani passports, ones he says he obtained through back channels.
This is Neha. I worked 3 years for this small little passport. 3 years, hard work. And we got it.
A vital step, but avoiding any Muslim extremists along the way will pose the biggest challenge.
And you're going to try and get them through Pakistani security.
Yes, that's
How
correct.
are you going to do that?
Bribes goes long way in Pakistan.
If you were found with the family in Pakistan, what do you think will happen?
They will never find me with the family in Pakistan until we are in the airport. And by then, we'll be on the plane. And by the time that they discover everything, we'll be here in Canada.
That's plan A.
There is no plan B.
And if plan A works,
your TV is working?
Neha and her family will come here.
This is Neha's room, so we want to clean.
This Toronto family is readying its home for 7 guests.
We are ready to welcome them and wholeheartedly open arms.
Peter Batty has been determined to help Neha and her family for years.
We are trying to bring her here since she was persecuted in Pakistan at least 4 years ago. And thanks God that God heard our prayers and now she is coming.
Even Peter's daughter Natasha is anxious to finally meet Neha.
I think all of us have been waiting so long that it's actually here, and it's kind of hard to believe that it's finally happening. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to most. I just want to meet her.
But first, Neha and her family have to escape the extremists and get out of Pakistan. A risky mission, to be sure, but Majed reassures them he'll make it happen.
You remember I made a promise to you and your family that you will come to Canada.
आपको पता है इन्होंने आपसे वादा किया था 3 साल पहले कि आपको कनाडा लेके जाएंगे.
You remember this day?
आपको याद है?
This day is coming tomorrow.